Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to episode 13 of my 6-player free-for-all Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I'm playing against 5 Emperor AI that are each on their own separate team, and I'm playing as the Orc Warlord, Crognash the Brutal. In our last episode, unfortunately, we suffered a couple of setbacks. In particular, we lost the city here of Srock to some filthy bandits that raided us. And then we also lost down here the city of Lyrian to some undead who came up, I believe, from the underground passage here. You can see this tunnel right here. And they sieged the city and took it from us. So I think in this episode we're going to try and reclaim some of the cities here that we've lost and sort of clean house and make sure that we have a good grasp on our territory as we're continuing to expand and push towards our next opponent here, which is Galendil Avorlas, the High Elf Archdruid. However, before I dive into this episode, I did just want to give a couple of quick shoutouts to a few individuals who left some excellent comments on the last episode. The first of those is from Casper Eklund, and Casper pointed out that my second Theocrat hero that I've acquired here, that being a Heninia the Penniless, she's now getting reasonably close to hitting level 7. She's actually about to hit level 6, and then shortly after that, of course, we'll be hopefully reaching level 7. So Casper just wanted to remind me of this so that I can save the level up points when I hit level 6, so that when I hit level 7, I could grab both Convert and Heal at the same time, and I would have enough points for both of those things. And I'm definitely going to do that. Big thank you to Casper for just that good reminder. It's easy to forget about that when you've got so many things going on. So, again, excellent reminder. The next set of comments here comes from Can Dennis. And Can left a very, very detailed and thorough set of comments. I'd recommend anybody who maybe didn't get a chance to read the comments on the last episode, jump back to episode 12 and actually have a read-through of Can's comments, because very detailed, very thorough, and excellent suggestions in there. I'm going to just try and hit the highlights from what Can had suggested here. So the first thing is that obviously I need to deal with all of these spawning structures. So we've got a number of cities that we've, as I mentioned, have lost, and then we've also got cities that are currently being sieged, like for example the city of Lilac here, which is currently under siege from 2 separate groups of the undead. So I really need to clean house and solidify the hold on my domain before I kind of really do anything else. Although I can probably multitask and use certain stacks to do that while I have my other stacks continuing to push forward on the front lines. Now to that end, I'm going to probably use Urkan and his stack. My plan with them was to send them over, complete this quest for the undead, my undead Archon Revenant vassal city here, or vassal dwelling, I guess I should say. And then once that's done, I'm going to send Urkan down to reclaim this city and maybe eventually even come over here and grab Srock as well, although I want to do that as quickly as I can. And then in the meantime, I'm going to be having Crognash and Dominus and a few of these other kind of miscellaneous units up here pushing forward. So I totally agree with Can. I need to clean house. I need to make sure that I have a good grip on my domain. Again, I'm not exactly sure where the units that attacked Srock came from, so I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm guessing maybe in this mist here where I can't see. And then down here, I already mentioned that for Lyrian, the undead came likely out of this tunnel. So I'm going to have to, again, just make sure I get rid of all these spawners. Can also pointed out that Crognash actually needs a healing item. So Crognash and Dominus, they're in a stack that's currently in the Shadow Realm. And if we take a look, Crognash actually doesn't have any healing capability at the moment. The healing items are all currently with Dominus, so he has Nourishing Meal, and then he's about to have Heal Undead in a few turns here as well. And so what Can suggested is that since I'm planning to split these 2 heroes up and each have them leading their own stack, I'm going to want Crognash having the capability to heal his armies as well. And so, again, great reminder there from Can. Another thing is that Can pointed out, in the last episode here, I was making a number of these orc-mounted archers. And Can just wanted to remind me that orcs do have a racial -1 to range strength. And that's an important thing to remember. my rationale for making these mounted archers was mostly to take advantage of thoroughbred mounts, which provides them with a lot of extra health. So I was kind of hoping to end up with a unit that could do some range damage, but could also do some melee damage in a pinch, and kind of almost use these mounted archers as more of like an irregular unit rather than as an archer unit. But again, great reminder there from Can. The next thing that Can suggests here is to always, and this is a good reminder for me, something I try to do but I sometimes forget, always pick your research at the end of a turn once you've done all of your battles. And in the last episode, I actually squandered some of the research that was coming in. I didn't take full advantage. I believe I cleared out, I don't remember which structure it was, but might have been up here maybe. Again, I'm not sure which structure it was I cleared, but I cleared a structure that gave me some research income, and it kind of went to waste because of the thing I was researching. There wasn't enough there to actually have it finish in that turn. However, had I waited to pick my research, I could have done something for free and then still done that in one turn, and it would have been more efficient. So again, good reminder there from Can to always pick your research at the end of your turn. I'm going to try to continue to keep that in mind. And then the last thing, Can wanted to know if shadow demons take any kind of penalty in the surface world. And they do not. We will take a real quick peek at a shadow demon unit that we currently have. This shadow demon harvester. So, shadow demons here have magical origin, shadow walker, night vision, dedicated to evil, 40% blight protection, and 40% shock weakness. That's really all they have in terms of their inherent characteristics. So there's nothing in here aside from the fact that they are immune to the effects of the shadow realm, the shadow sickness that would otherwise affect units. Aside from that, there's really nothing else about them that in the overworld would hinder them in any way. So they are going to benefit me in the shadow realm and on the surface. So again, big thank you to both Casper and Can for those excellent suggestions. We're going to dive in now because, again, now I've got a really clean house here. So let's figure out kind of where we were. So we had Hininia here, and she had been leading a stack that managed to successfully clear out this Spring of Life, but now we've got more work to do with her. So we're going to head over to this ancient ruin. I'm going to send her stack over there. And we're going to need some backup, though, for sure, as we really don't have that many kind of tough units here. You can see we really don't have any melee units at this point. We sort of lost them in that last battle. And we're working currently on a gladiator pit in Hrim. So that'll make us able to, and same story here in Carbanok. That's going to make it so that we can produce the Phalanx units, which are tier 3 pikemen. So we're going to just wait because we need to get some other units to this stack before we do anything. Now, with True Gruck here, I think... Oh, it was True Gruck here. True Gruck cleared out the Vault of Knowledge. That's where that knowledge income came from. Now, unfortunately, in that battle, we ended up losing a couple of those hatchling units that I was going to kind of use to help me out here. And unfortunately, I think that means that it's going to be very, very tricky for us to win this battle now. So fortunately we still have Holy Champions, which is going to give us a benefit here. We'll just take a look at what that actually does for us. So that gives us +5 fire damage against monster, undead, and dedicated to evil units. I don't think that's really going to benefit us here, aside from against the Node Serpent, because the rest of these units are all elementals. But we will do extra damage to the Node Serpent. So this battle is going to be extremely, extremely difficult for us. Yeah, I really don't see us having an easy time of it. So I'm going to at least try and get this little hatchling down to assist. We're working on the Siege Workshop because I eventually may want to produce some Trebuchet units to make sieging these Archon forts a little bit easier. Yeah, I'm not comfortable trying this battle without at least a little bit of assistance here. So Trugruck's going to have to just kind of wait. Unfortunately, Trugruck's been kind of having to do a lot of waiting around. It might be nice eventually to get Trugruck back into the surface so that he can actually help clear out some of these spawning structures around my cities. Alright, we will end our turn there. So, again, we know where our Archdruid opponent is over here. That being, again, Galendil of Vorlas. So we're going to push and try to start sieging him. Oh, and one of my opponents just completed Sage, meaning that they've now got a tier 6 spell researched. So things are going to get pretty interesting soon here. So what we're going to do is we're going to send this little stack here, this kind of hodgepodge group. We're going to send them up to join with this little stack here, and they're going to kind of meet up somewhere in this kind of blighted area in here, this wetlands, and then we're going to push in towards this goblin city and see if we can siege that. Fortunately, we do have a Embrace Darkness that is finished. We're probably going to cast that. Oh, okay, we're under attack again in Lilac. So last episode, both of these undead stacks kind of got to my city here and were starting to siege me. So what we're going to do is we're just going to keep doing what we were doing. We're going to kite the AI here. So as long as we go 5 rounds without taking any damage, we should be just fine. And obviously, eventually we're going to need to mount some kind of defense here to be able to actually push these units away from our city, but in the meantime, we're just going to have to sort of kite them. But anyway, as I was saying, I have to figure out how, just kind of talking again about more general strategy as this battle is kind of just biding my time here. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with Crognash and Dominus. They're currently in the Shadow Realm. It would be ideal if I can find another Shadow Gate that would allow them to come back to the surface closer to where the Archdruid is. However, I may have to just come back through the Shadow Gate that they actually went into the Shadow Realm through. But I'm going to have to wait and see. There are some extra cities in the Shadow Realm that I was able to siege with them and take over. So it may actually be worth keeping them there a little bit longer. But obviously, the longer I wait, the harder it's going to be to siege my AI opponents and to attack them, as they're going to have, you know, higher tier units, more units, better spells, and it's just going to continue to get more and more difficult as they start to kind of snowball, which again, the Emperor AI tends to do. All right, so we were successful in hanging on to the city. We did have an item arrive here for True Gruck. Elemental Slayer, that's actually going to help us out in this battle. We'll do an additional +3 damage against elemental units. So that might be useful when we're trying to do this battle. It's not going to make a huge difference because I'm probably not going to get True Gruck into the fight all that much, but I'm gonna procrastinate doing this battle. I want to see what else we can accomplish, because again, this is going to be a pretty risky battle for us there. Okay, so now let's see. Can we get this spearman? We can't get the spearman into the stack, but we can get this additional mounted archer in there. All right, let's see what we're up against. We got a couple of trolls, some dread spiders, and some wargs. We are going to have mass curse affecting us, which is going to be really annoying. This is actually going to be a fairly difficult battle, as we really don't have any melee units to kind of help us out here. We'll give it a shot. We'll probably end up losing a couple units, potentially. We may have to sacrifice one of the mounted archers, perhaps. Obviously, we want these spiders dealt with, because they're going to give us some trouble. And these, we're going to probably have to sacrifice the toadstool fairies, I'm thinking. So we want these spiders dead, because these spiders can web us, which would be not good. There we go. At least one spider is down. All right, we're going to try and curse the trolls, but we're not actually really trying for the curse. What we're instead trying to do is limit their movement. There we go. That's good. Very good. Oh, and that one we actually were successful. That's... I mean, it's fine, except that I was actually hoping that it would limit their movement instead, because you can see when they have limited movement, they really can't do much, whereas now this one can move in and actually attack us. So It's kind of annoying, but oh well. Also, we have to remember that the troll does have regrowth here, so trying to damage the troll before we actually get into battle with him and are really able to get the kill is not going to be as effective. So we don't want to kind of waste our time wailing on him before we're actually able to do any meaningful damage. So I suspect this troll is probably going to go for my fairies. I think what we'll do is we'll throw Hininia back here. We'll throw Touch of Faith on our mounted archers. And then we'll light up the Dread Spiders a little bit. Very nice. Okay. Yeah, this battle's... this is going to be a tough one. Oh, and that just made it a lot more difficult, unfortunately. Okay. So, yeah, we're in pretty tough here. So we're going to kill off the Warg. Very, very nice. Let's see what kind of damage can we do to this troll here. If we move over here, I think we can maybe... Can't quite get the flank, eh? What about this? This would do a minimum of 2 + 7, a minimum of 9 damage, whereas this is doing a minimum of 8. Maximum damage here would be 13, so this is actually a slightly more effective attack. Alright, let's do it. Very nice. And then we should be able to just finish the troll off here with our mounted archer. Excellent. We can kill off the warg here. Excellent. And now, unfortunately, this mounted archer is almost certainly going to die. Yep. There we go. Again, kind of expected there. Kill off the Dread Spider baby. We'll step up here and do some flanking damage. Very nice. And does anybody need health? Not really. Everybody's kind of fully healed. So I think what we'll do is we'll bring Hininia over. Do some damage. Very nice. So Hininia is now at level 6. We've successfully cleared out the Ancient Ruins. We did get a melee weapon here. Athla's Natural Club, a strong weapon item. And some extra knowledge here. We'll take this. We'll equip the club. And we'll do our level up here. And again, we're going to actually save our level up points because when we level up next, we're going to be getting Convert, and we're going to get Heal as well. So we're not going to apply the points. We're just going to save them. So we've got Embrace Darkness on both of these cities here. Maybe next we do Toldran, as we're probably going to start producing some units out of here as well. I think that's going to be a good plan for us. And we're just going to try and eventually have this on pretty much all of our cities. And this little guy... Well, we're going to have to take Hininia now. And I think what we're going to do with her is we're actually going to go up and try to clear this out up here. I think that's the best course of action for Hininia. So we will kind of cruise on up this way. And again, we'll send this mounted archer to join up as well. So yeah, somebody has a tier 6 skill researched. Let's see here. Alright, so now let's do the rest of our units that can move around in battle here. So these ones we're sending, again, up this way. We're just straight sending them to join up with this stack. I would try and clear this out, but I just don't think we can do it. Ooh, unfortunately here... Well, here's Galendil himself, leading a decently powerful stack, so we might actually retreat back just so that he doesn't try and attack us. We need to kind of group our units up before we have any chance of being able to fight him. He doesn't have any super strong units in that stack, mind you, but I don't want him attacking us before we're ready to put up a good fight. Okay. That looks like... Yeah, I think there's probably a city over here, potentially. Alright, so we've got all these units now. We've got to decide here what do we do in the Shadow Realm. Again, the Shadow Gate we came through is right here, and let's just make sure we remember where that comes through. So that would come through right there on the surface. So again, if we jump back... you know, it would be nice to see if there's maybe a Shadow Gate over here. But there's also most likely a city right here. I think I see the little bits here of the little houses that are kind of in the city domain. I'm guessing there's probably another Shadow Elf city over there. And some of these structures would be kind of nice to clear out. So maybe what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of scouting here just to kind of help us out. Ooh, and look at this. We've got a Shadow Demon Lord, a tier 4 unit. Does not have... Oh, it does have strong... Okay, it has strong will, which means we wouldn't be able to dominate it. Kind of unfortunate. I was going to say, oh, wouldn't that be awesome if we could dominate a tier 4 unit and get a hold of it. So that's very well defended, obviously, as you can see. And I'm not really seeing any obvious Shadow Gates over here, so we may have to just go back through the one that we sort of initially came through. Our Draconian here can do a little bit of scouting for us. And again, it would be nice to go and grab another city, but I really do want to press the attack. This might be where I actually have to split my stack up. So perhaps I send Crognash, the Shock Serpent, and the Toadstool Fairy. And they head back down this way, let's say. Yeah, and then we leave Dominus, the Blight Elemental, and a Big Beetle, along with this Shadow Demon Harvester. Actually, the Shadow Demon Harvester could probably go with Crognash as well. There we go. And now with this little stack, we will go see if we can maybe do some work on that city. We could even send this Draconian back over here to join up. Oof. Okay, we've got a spawner here that needs to get destroyed as well, and we've got another city. So, yeah, we will have to kind of decide how we're going to approach that. But I think we're going to send Crognash back and have him lead the armies that are going to be fighting against our Druid opponent. Meanwhile, Dominus can stay in the Shadow Realm and try and kind of clean up some of these particular structures here, and then maybe even get a hold of that city eventually. So we'll send this unit back as well. Okay, now over to Toldran. Again, it would be probably a good idea for me to forge a healing item, so we're going to do that. Let's do just a standard healing item here. Very nice. And we'll call this one First Aid Kit. So the First Aid Kit is going to give us the ability to heal. That'll be done in one turn, and then we can send that off to Crognash. Once that's complete, I think the next thing we're going to do is maybe start making a few units here. Alternatively, we could also go for the Gladiator Pit and then start producing those phalanxes as well. But we're going to start, in either case, I think we're going to start producing units. All right, over to Lilac here. Again, we are under siege, which isn't ideal. Let's do a shrine and maybe eventually get up to a temple. The goal there being that we want to produce units that have that elemental damage against all these undead. That'll maybe help us out a little bit when we get up there if we have another priest or two. Now, True Gruck, I've been procrastinating this battle. All right, let's do it. Oh, I am not feeling confident about this one, to be perfectly honest with you. This is quite a risky battle for me. It's telling me probable victory, but I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to have to do it, though, because I can't just leave True Gruck sitting there forever. All right, well, they're not attacking us yet, so that's going to give us a chance to, at the very least, throw on some beneficial abilities here on my units. So I think our Air Elemental... We've got an Air Elemental and a Frost Elemental. I don't think... Yeah, this one is 100% Blight Protection, And since there's 3 different blight units, that's going to probably be our best friend here going into this one. Let's just double check. We also have physical protection. We do have frost and fire weakness. That's going to be the biggest issue, is just the fire damage from these fire elementals. So what we'll do, let's just double check our frost elemental quick. Okay, nothing with blight, so we're okay there. Just that little bit of fire weakness and a little bit of physical weakness. It's giving us a bit of a problem. So what we'll do here is we will throw Touch of Faith on our air elemental. Our air elemental is going to be our vanguard for this battle. Our frost elemental will as well. And our orc grunt is going to have to help out as well. The hatchling is going to probably be a sacrifice. And with Trugruk, I might also cast another of Trugruk's spells here in this one. Let's just double check what we've got for spells. So we've got Instant Wrath, but Divine Protection is the one that I think is going to be the most beneficial for me. And I may actually throw that on my Frost Elemental here. Either that or onto my Grunt. Or alternatively, I could put it on both, I suppose. Now, when we get up there, we're going to get hit by this Weakening Breath, which is going to be really nasty for us. And then these Lesser Blight Elementals are probably going to throw Weakened on my units as soon as I get in there. And that's going to be very, very nasty for me. I'm going to get my Mystic kind of up there. I hope that they throw it on the Mystic rather than on my units that are kind of going to be right up front. So let's throw Divine Protection on my Grunt here. And again, we're just going to kind of... move everybody in a little bit. Oh, this isn't going to end well. I'm very, very scared of the Blight Elementals and the weakened effects that are going to be thrown at us here. So that Grunt is really going to be kind of a... I don't want to say a sacrifice, but we'll do that as well. We could even charge right in there with our Air Elemental. Although I feel like that's probably a bit of a suicide mission, doing that. So maybe we move in like this, like that or something. I don't know. I mean, we're kind of grouped up, unfortunately. We're going to take a pounding here from this all this weaken that's going to get thrown on us here. Watch this. Here it comes. There's one. There's two. And there's three. Yep, exactly what I was expecting. Okay, so let's deal with the Shock Serpent first of all. So we could try for a convert, but I think I would rather just try and win this battle and not worry too much about... Ooh, nice, we got a critical. That's going to help us out. And then we can get the finish, hopefully. Yes, very nice. Okay. That makes things a lot easier for us now. You can see this Blight Elemental is just nasty. Again, we really don't want our Air Elemental dying, that's for sure. Spirit Elemental is going to be a bit of a problem for us. As you can see, it has a lot of shock protection. It's interesting. It has... Oh, it has 80% shock protection. Okay. And 100% spirit protection, so it's not really going to take a ton of extra damage there. We'll move our little guy in and do some big damage with our hatchling there on the Blight Elemental. And we actually maybe even get the finish here. We'd be very close. Between our... We've already used our ranged units. Between our Grunts and our Frost Elemental, I think what we'll do, we'll send the Frost Elemental in like this. Do a defensive strike. And then we'll move in with our Grunt like this. Throw on a War Cry and... Oh, and we didn't get the kill. Oh, that sucks. We just got a really low roll there. I was really hoping we'd get the kill. Alright, well, unfortunately we're going to have to come in and finish him off that way. Unfortunately now, when this Fire Elemental gets in there, it's going to blow up and probably cause some massive damage for us. Yeah, that spirit damage isn't fun. Oof, neither is that fire damage. Well, thank goodness they went after the hatchlings, which was really actually quite good for us in terms of... Oh, you can see this Mystic is just tough as can be. I think we're going to use Werepanther. And then, yeah, we can actually do some work here. So we'll jump in like that with Pounce. Let's see, I don't think we can convert. I think the Spirit Elemental has... Yeah, since it has Spirit Protection, 100% we're not going to be able to convert it because that's a Spirit check. So that's not going to work. We could move in, though, and try for a Entangle, which might be kind of nice. Now, hang on. Before we do all that, let's sort this out over here. So the Fire Elemental is going to, again, be a bit of an issue. I think we can just outright kill it with our Frost Elemental, however, so let's do that. Excellent. Took some damage, but nothing we can't survive. And then, with a flanked attack here, we'll do pretty good work. We might not get the kill, but let's at least try. We did get the kill. Excellent. Excellent there. And then we can do quite a lot of damage with our Air Elemental there and pretty much finish off the Blight Elemental. As for True Gruck here, yeah, we're going to send him in and go for an Entangling Touch. Ooh, and it resisted. Should be alright, though, as now he's got less movement. Yeah, he's trying to just beating up on True Gruck a little bit. So now... Oh, and True Gruck had something happen to him here. He's dazed. I was going to say, why can't he heal? But that's the reason. So... Now we just have to come in and attack the Frost Elemental here. So we'll move in like this. Do some damage. And then we'll move in over here, and then our... This. Get a nice flank there. Nice kill there. And then we can finish off that elemental. So, you know what? All in all, that battle actually went a lot better than I thought it was going to. Again, we did have to give up that little hatchling, but, I mean, no real loss there. And again, the benefits of having cleared this out is tremendous. We did get some extra casting points. Not that that's going to really... Oh, that actually... Okay, that gives us the opportunity to do another Embrace Darkness, which is kind of nice. And there are some more roaming units over here that are going to need to be eliminated, it would appear. Yep, there we go. So now we have to figure out where the heck these guys came from. Because they're obviously close enough that they're going to pester the city potentially as well. Before we do that, let's decide who we want to use Embrace Darkness on. Or I guess I should say which city we want to use it on. We've already got it on Toldran here. We've got Embrace Darkness on Parab. This city, I don't think we're going to have producing units anytime soon. They do have a tomb, which is kind of cool. Maybe we go into the Shadow Realm, and I suppose we could put it on this city since we have been producing these little hatchlings. You know what? What the heck? Yeah, let's do it. There we go. Okay, so now let's use True Gruck here. We'll eliminate these little units. Maybe we can try and convert the Assassin. We have to be careful, though, because those Assassins can do a lot of damage. Oh, getting rid of that spawning structure, though, is huge for us. That makes that our little Draconian city far less at risk. Right, Air Elemental's going to get a buff here. Move in and kill off the little scoundrels. And then our Frost Elemental can move in like this. Do a defensive strike and just absolutely annihilate the scoundrels there. Alright, so now we're just going to try for a convert. Oh, and they're frozen, even better. Alright, let's give it a shot. Oh, it didn't work out. Dang. It's too bad. There we go. I suppose I could have left them frozen and tried to get some heals in, but... play it safe here and just eliminate them. So... Alright, so now with True Gruck, what do I do? I think I want to maybe go up here and figure out if there's a brigand camp or whatever they're called that's spawning these things, and we could grab some research income potentially there. If we can get another decent unit in this stack, I think then we'll be able to challenge some of these like Raven's Keeps and whatnot. Meanwhile, this city here, we're almost done our Siege Workshop. All right, let's do Mboku now. So we've got a lot of gold, which is great. So we don't really have to be stingy with the gold, which is very good. So we've got 65 production income at the moment. Let's do a laboratory and just try and recoup some of that knowledge income that's been lost as we've lost some of these cities. So we'll send Urkan over. It's a shame we don't have that extra unit in here. But I'm going to just trust that we're strong enough there. We do have the Phoenix, I believe it's called Phoenix Warrior spell. Yeah, this spell is really useful as I can throw it on a unit. It'll have Resurgence. I can use that unit to tank damage, and if it dies, it doesn't really matter because it'll just come right back, assuming I win the battle, of course. Okay. So that, I think that pretty much does it for our turn. Maybe we do a raise militia and try and just grab another unit or two in some of these areas that are kind of being problematic for us. Alright, so now that our turn's flipping over, again, it'll be interesting to see if Galendil here decides to move his stack out and try and attack us. I suspect he won't, but we'll have to see. And then also we're going to have to see if what these little fairies do. Again, there are some Nightshade fairies in here. That's pretty much a given. As when we received the quest, it actually showed Nightshade fairies. That's very similar to the quest that we did when we actually acquired this dwelling here as a vassal. Well, so far so good. Not seeing anything from Galendil yet. It is his turn right now. Okay, and they've decided to come out and attack us. There's 2 Nightshade fairies in this stack, so we will have to be careful as they can dish out quite a bit of elemental damage. However, we've got 2 very, very strong cavalry units with a lot of health. Now, just to be safe, I'm going to throw Phoenix Warrior on the Knight and have the Knight tank most of the damage up front, I think. And we'll use this unit to reduce the movement of that Nightshade Fairy. We'll do the same with the other fairy. When we actually got the curse, that's fine too. Again, I'm expecting that the Knight is going to take most of the damage there. We can be as absolutely reckless as we want with the Knight, thanks to that spell. I can also throw it on the big beetles if necessary, although I think the big beetles will actually be okay. Do some damage here. And we're going to move in like this so that we're at least facing the fairies. That way if they try to attack my big beetle, they're at least going to have some issues with that. And we're going to charge our Knight straight up in there, going right after the fairies. And now all that's left is Urkan himself. And we're going to throw a snowball and try for a freeze here. Oh, we actually got lucky. We got that Buttercup Fairy. Quite lucky there. I maybe shouldn't have moved Urkan up quite as much as I did, but I think it's okay. Yeah, they're ganging up on my Knight as kind of expected. And the Knight is tanking the damage like an absolute champ. And we'll throw our Nourishing Meal on the Knight as he's going to need it. He's quite beat up, as you can see. And we're going to step up, do some damage to these fairies here. Step up, do a flank hit there. Move our caster in And we can't get a... I think this fairy's already cursed. That's why. I was going to try and limit their movement a little bit, but can't do it. So instead, we will just kill off the Buttercup fairy. Okay, so it phased over and attacked Urkan. You can see just how much damage that attack did to Urkan. So, again, I had to be very, very careful there with how I approached that in terms of getting Urkan in there. We're going to send Urkan around back, do a nice flank shot, get the kill. Excellent. Okay, so unfortunately our knight took some damage, but not too much of an issue, as we can basically just heal him using Nourishing Meal every turn, get him back into fighting shape very quickly. Alright, so unfortunately it's going to be a little boring here, as I basically just do the same thing I did last turn. I'm going to have to do this for a little while because the cavalry coming in, I shouldn't say cavalry, reinforcements. The reinforcements coming in to assist this city are still a couple of turns away. So we won't see them aiding in this battle for a little while. And then we're going to have to figure out exactly where the necromantic circle is that's spawning all of these units, because they are being quite annoying just sieging our cities. Alright, so now we're just going to charge down there. And we're just sending all our units kind of back into this corner, again, just to wait it out. I'm very curious to see what Glendil has for units. I suspect that he probably doesn't have... I don't think anyone has gotten Paragon yet, which is for having tier 4 units. The first person to summon or build a tier 4 unit gets an upgrade for that tier 4 unit. It's one of the Empire quests. Now, I suspect that's going to be popping up here in the next turn or two, because Sage has already popped up. Although, Paragon may have already popped up and I just didn't notice. I'd have to go back and double check. But the point being, I suspect that Glendil probably doesn't have very many, if any, tier 4 units yet. And of course, if I act quickly here, I can hopefully keep it that way. As in, keep Glendil from being able to produce any tier 4 units. Kill him off before he's able to. Alright, so we got a reward here. Archon Revenant Infantry and an Archon Revenant Caster. I will take that reward. Thank you very much. Well, that's great. So we've got a few extra undead units along with this Archon Revenant Caster. We could start forming our own little undead stack there. And we actually have a tribute here coming from... You know what? We'll take the small army. Absolutely. And there we go. We got another Archon unit here. This one is a Revenant Pikeman, which we can use to full effect there as well. So we really do have our own little undead stack. Okay, and we got to level up with Crognash. Let's see what we've got. Ooh, Toughness. All units in the hero's army gain 20% physical protection. Absolutely, we will take that. Very, very nice to have. Excellent, excellent upgrade. Okay, and we're better at governing orcs. That's going to help us out too. We're tier 3, or we're at level 3 now. Let's see. We've got the military orc black knights gain +1 melee damage and the guard breaker ability, or orc cities with siege workshops get 20% extra production. I'm tempted to take this one, but since we're now at the point where we're making tier 3 units, I don't think we're going to be making a ton of black knights. So I'm actually going to lean towards the economic upgrade and making it easier to then produce some of our other units. And we did have our Big Beetle hatch, which is great. So now Crognash has a mount that's going to just make him that much stronger. Let's see, anything else interesting happen? We did have our item finished production here. Whoops. Now let's send this off to Crognash before we forget. It'll take 3 turns to get there. Okay, now we can finish a gladiator pit in 1 turn, which would be ideal. And that would then allow us to start producing tier 3 pikemen out of here, which would be excellent for us. Very, very good. So we're going to do that. And we do have raised militia that we can use on a city. We'll decide where to do that here going forward. For now, we're going to just move our units around here a bit. Now, I do have to remember that there were some pretty nasty undead that attacked me earlier, so I may actually just group up. Even though I have movement to move further, I'm going to group all these units up because I don't want to risk it. I believe that undead unit came out of this tunnel, but I'm not 100% sure about that. There was a bone dragon and a few other units that attacked Heninia and her stack a few turns ago. So I'm probably going to... Actually, I'm going to use raised militia on this city here. That way I at least just have an extra city guard. And then once this is finished, I'm going to then start producing pikemen. And then when the city grows, which it will very shortly, I'll also produce the Pillar of the Stylites, which will be excellent. That's going to make our pikemen coming out of that city that much stronger. Okay, so now we can make these phalanx units in a single turn, which is excellent. Very, very good. Let's do it. We'll start pumping out some tier 3 units. They're going to be very, very good for us. Okay, now, our little draconian city here. Now we could make trebuchets, and that would make sieging these cities a heck of a lot easier. That, of course, being if we want to keep Trugruk here to kind of do that. Let's just look back through the Shadow Gate here. Whoops. So this Shadow Gate must come out underground, because we haven't actually been through that one. So I think we sent Trugruk through this one. Let's just see where that is. Yeah, so that's where Trugruk came through. So if we were to go through this Shadow Gate, that would take us to the underground, which we haven't been at really very much at all. We've only explored one little section over here. So, yeah, we've got some decisions to make. Clearing these Archon forts really isn't of tremendous benefit for me. It doesn't really get me anything else, aside from the ability to produce Archon units who are dedicated to good anyway that aren't really going to benefit me much. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to maybe start developing this city such that I'm able to produce some units out of it. I could do a Warlord's Command. That would actually be pretty sweet. I think we'll do that. Do a Warlord's Command here, and then we'll start producing some units out of that city. And in the meantime, yeah, let's go over here and we'll see what we can... Yeah, this is what we need to get rid of, this Warband camp. Alright, so we'll raid this particular little structure first. Let's see, maybe we can grab one of those apprentice units using Convert. That would be pretty nice. But first we have to kill off these wisps a little bit here. There's some damage. And let's just see here. So we can send this one into the Orc Apprentice, who will actually probably be the easiest of the bunch to... Although the Halfling does have lower resistance. The Orc only has higher because it's in defense mode. Because Orcs have -1 resistance as a racial trait, they're going to be a lot easier to convert, potentially, than the other. Let's see, we're going to just teleport in right there, put ourselves in defense mode, and then we're going to move in and kill off this wisp, which is actually going to be a little bit more difficult than I was anticipating. There we go. Okay, so that wisp is taken care of. Trying to dispel that frozen, which is kind of nice, making it easier for us. There we go. Alright, so let's move in here and do some big damage on these Halfling Apprentice units. There we go. Now we can move up, and let's see who we can convert. We got a 55% chance, a 50%, and a 50%. Let's go with the higher odds. Oh, resisted. We've been having not great luck with that, with Convert. We had good luck earlier with Dominate, which is the stronger of the abilities. All right, let's kill off the Goblin Apprentice. There we go. Now the Halfling is just going to suicide itself. There we go. Well, that's good. At least we get a big knowledge boost out of that. Yeah, there we go. 124 extra. That sped this up by a turn, I think. And so now we gotta clear out this Warband camp. But before we do that, let's upgrade True Gruck, who did get a level up. And we've got Vow of Poverty. All units in the hero's army require 50% less gold upkeep. This is a great one, except that, I mean, we're really rolling in cash at the moment in terms of gold income. And we have Inspire Loyalty, meaning that, again, these do stack. We did figure that out a few episodes back, that Vow of Poverty and Inspire Loyalty will stack. So you would end up getting a 75% reduction, effectively, in upkeep. So that is beneficial, but I think it might almost be better, since we don't really need, we're not hurting that bad for gold. I think in the meantime, it might actually be better to just make him better at leading a stack, since he's kind of on his own. Like something like Rebirth would be kind of cool, although eventually we will get Divine Justicars, which gives everybody resistance. So maybe instead we just do Divine Channeling. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on that Vow of Poverty. I may eventually acquire it, but for now I would rather just be stronger, I think. Okay. Let's try this battle and see how it goes. Gonna be kind of tough because we are outnumbered and they do have that little wall. Fortunately, some of our units can bypass it if necessary. Our Air Elemental is going to be useful because a number of these units do shock damage. So I think our Air Elemental is going to get Bestow Iron Heart, as he does have a little bit of damage done to him. So that's going to make him just a little bit more, a little bit stronger there. Frost Elemental can move up as well. Our Grunt, same story. In fact, let's actually go and attack the barricade there. Excellent. Do some damage with our Mystics. And our Air Elemental, we could actually go right in. I think what we'll do is we'll sit like this. Alright. I suspect our Frost Elemental is going to take a bit of a pounding. Yep. Oh, very nice. We got a nice freeze there, as you can see. Alright, we'll use our Tigran Mystic to... Oh, we might not actually get the kill there, so... Although if we bring True Gruck up, I think we will. Yeah, no problem there. So we'll move up like this. Do some damage to the Infused in there. We'll actually send our Grunt in and put him in defense mode. And then we'll send our Frost Elemental in along with our Air Elemental. So we'll move in like this and flank the archers. Excellent. Then we'll move in like this, and we could even do a defensive strike, I suppose. But I think we'll just put ourselves in defense mode, since they have first strike as they are pikemen. Those grunts are really just holding their own there with their big shields. That's quite nice. Nice freeze there. That's good. Do some damage to assist there. Now, who do we want to convert? Probably the Infused, I think, would be our prime target for that. So let's give it a try. Nice, and we finally had one actually work. That's awesome. Okay. So now, let's finish off these ones to protect our Infused, because they're potentially going to be vulnerable here to some attacks. We'll use our Air Elemental to finish them off. A little bit of a graphical glitch here from some of the shadows. Grunts took a pounding there, you can see. Fortunately, we can drop a nice big heal on them to make them feel a little bit better. And then between our Infused, move in like this and get a kill. And then our air elemental can also get a finish. Excellent. Alright, so that takes care of that structure. Ooh, and look at this. Lightning-infused power crystal. It's a legendary shield item that provides static shield. Every time an enemy unit performs a melee or touch attack against this unit, the enemy unit receives 5 shock damage and has a chance to be stunned. That's pretty solid. We'll take that. We don't actually have a shield with True Grux, so we'll pop that on there. That's quite nice. And now we do have an extra unit to add to this stack, which is great. Ooh, and I shouldn't have actually moved off like that because we can't all actually go and join True Grux, so that's okay. We'll just have to move up like this. And again, we're going to clear out this little watchtower, and then I think we're going to head through that shadow gate with True Grux. Alright, so now with these stacks, we should be able to kind of group up. Yes, and we sort of can. We'll go like this and like this. And that basically allows us to form kind of a bit of a little hybrid stack here. So that unit can hang out. We have to decide what to do with all these undead that we've acquired. A good problem to have. More units is usually a good thing. And now we also have to decide what to do with all of these kind of wayward units in here. So we're going to bring this Night Guard back. And Crognash can actually go shoot right through the Shadow Gate here and move to assist what's going on up top here. Meanwhile, Urkan has these undead, so let's decide here. We need to go and grab the city. That's probably our most pressing concern at the moment. So we'll head down there, go and deal with that. Meanwhile, these undead, we could form ourselves a little undead stack and kind of send them up to maybe assist or do some work. I'm hesitant to send them by themselves, though, because there's just the 3 of them. They're not really enough to make kind of their own little group. But, again, chances are that somewhere in here there's some bandits spawning or something like that. So we've got this pikeman, we've got a caster who fortunately can heal, and then we've got our revenant infantry. You know what? Maybe we send them over to Srock. Actually, let's do that. Okay, we'll start sending them that way. And back up here. Now we have to decide what do we do with Dominus. And I think the answer is going to be we try and recruit some new friends. So let's jump over here. Head in like that. Now, do we want to try this battle despite the fact that we really only have 2 kind of decent units? I think we can probably manage it. It'll be a tough battle for sure. But I think we'll be okay. My only concern is that these Storm Priests can summon these little lightning sprites who could kind of turn the tide a little bit. Make the battle a little bit more challenging. I would really like to try and dominate one of these cavalry units, the Exterminators, or a Storm Priest. That would be great. Now, I think we're going to use... We could use Choking Fumes, actually. But that's going to affect our own units as well. Summon Siege Engine's going to help us out by just giving us another unit in this battle, and I think that's going to probably be what we need here. So, let's do that. Summon a Siege Engine. We'll summon them kind of over here. Oh, and we got really lucky. We got a Flame Tank. We couldn't have really asked for better. That's ideal. And our Big Beetle's going to move up a little bit. The great thing about that is that Shadow Elves have an innate fire weakness. So that Flame Tank is going to be extremely, extremely useful for us. When they're all kind of grouping up, that's great. Okay, now let's see what is this? Oh, we can't use the ability right away. That's kind of annoying. Well, fortunately, we do have our Draconian Flamer here who can firebomb these units pretty solid. So we will do that. Yeah, I don't think I can hit all of them, so we'll do that. There we go. And then if we step up with Dominus himself. Let's see, what kind of damage are we doing here? So we're doing a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 9. What about this one? Not really. Do we have any other ranged attacks? No, we don't, aside from the Ice Ball. So I think we'll use our Blast here. There we go. And then we can do Weakening Breath. Look at that, we actually got a kill. Excellent. And then we can move up like this, throw ourselves in defense mode, and we'll keep our Flame Tank back, like that. Alright, excellent. Okay. So, they really ganged up on my Flamer to try and finish off my Flamer here, which is annoying. Let's see, what does our Flame... Ooh, look at how much damage that does. That's ideal. Yeah, let's do that. Excellent. Alright, now unfortunately we're going to have to waste our turn here saving our Flamer. There we go. Now he may still die from getting shot by these Storm Priests, unfortunately. I mean, if the Flamer goes down, it's not the end of the world. It's just a little bit annoying. Okay, okay, they're gonna summon more lightning sprites, which is actually good for us. Oof. Came over to try and grab our, or to finish off our Flamers. Now let's see, can we dominate? What's our odds? 75%, that's pretty good. Let's try it. We got it, very nice. Now we're gonna run our Flamer away because he's in rough shape. And then we're going to move up with our Flame Tank and do a nice big, whew, look at that. Look at all that damage. Excellent. And then we can actually move our Blight Elemental over and do this. Excellent, killed off the Lightning Sprite as well. Move in like that and get the kill with our big beetle. And we're taking some damage with our dominated unit, but he's doing okay. Could do a nourishing meal perhaps on our new unit, but I think I'm going to go throw it on the big beetle rather than that. So then we'll move in and get the kill there, no problem at all. And then we can charge in and just get the finish. Ooh, important to remember that those flame tanks explode when the battle ends like that and they get de-summoned. Oh, and a Frost Wyvern. Nice, which I think we already have one, but I'll take that and send it to another hero. Yeah, so we already have a Frost Wyvern. Now let's decide who we want to send that to. Crognash does already have a big beetle, so maybe we send it to another hero. Like maybe Urkan, for example, could benefit from that. He actually has a Vampire Spider Egg, which will be hatching soon for him. So maybe either True Gruck or Hininia then. So let's see. True Gruck does not have a mount. He would probably benefit from it. Hininia, same story. I don't think she has a mount. No, she does not. The question is, which of my heroes needs the mount more? Both are going to be doing some pretty hefty fighting. That's one less turn to get it to True Gruck, so let's get it to True Gruck. So we'll just jump to him real quick, and we can equip the mount so that when it gets there, it's already equipped for him. And now what other structures? We've got an Archon Fort here. We've got a node of some kind there. We do have this Raven's Keep, which we're probably not strong enough with our current little assemble here, or assembly of units. We're probably going to maybe go for this, the Glass Furnace, next. Thankfully, we have Forge Aprons from Dominus, which is going to give us some fire protection going in there, which would be good. So I think we will just move our pikemen like that. Tell him to hang out. And that's going to pretty much do it for our turn. Now, as for the rest of these cities, we could throw some more Embrace Darkness on here. I mean, we could throw Embrace Darkness up here on this city. We could put it on, I guess, the Dwelling, and eventually they'll become part of our empire. We could actually do that right now if we wanted. And then we could start developing it. You know, that's not a bad plan. Maybe we do that. I mean, it'll be a lot of turns before this is actually giving us really solid units, because it takes time to develop it, of course. But yeah, let's do that. I think we can handle the alignment. Yeah, we can handle the alignment hit that we're going to take. Let's do it. I probably should have done that a few turns ago if I was able. Now, we want to be able to get to a barrow. So to do that, we're going to need to do an Obelisk of Undeath and a Sigil of Awakening. So we'll start with the Sigil of Awakening, and then we'll do the Obelisk of Undeath next. And that's going to then get us able to start producing some of the stronger undead units that we want to help us. And then we will start casting Embrace Darkness. We'll put that on here just so that we have it ready to go when we do start producing units. And I think that's going to do it for this episode. We're right at the end of our turn. Unfortunately, we still haven't reclaimed these cities, but we are in the process of doing that here, as we've got Urkan right on the doorstep here, ready to go slay a bone dragon. And we do have then Srok here still waiting to be reclaimed, and we've got some undead units at least heading over there to maybe start that process. And then we are starting to assemble our army here to go and attack Galendil and his forces. And we've got Crognash here ready to come and lead some armies to go and accomplish that. So things are developing well. It's just really unfortunate that we kind of had all these cities get taken over and captured by the enemy here, or the Independents, I should say. It looks like I'm seeing a... Oh, that's the... Oh, I thought this was a city here. That's just the outline of the water. I was like, oh, there's a dwelling or a city that I missed. But in any case, let's save this one. We will call this one Episode 13. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.